And then what would you go back and change if you could?
This is interesting. When you and Rachel started having kids and they started needing discipline, I would sit back and watch you, but Rachel, because I was with Rachel the most. I'd go to Montana and spend 10 or 20 days there. And I would watch her. I was horrible at discipline. That wasn't fun. And so I knew that if I disciplined you, it was really disciplining me. So I didn't ground anybody. I wasn't very consistent. I think all three of you could have used maybe a little tighter hand than I was able to give. But Rachel, I have always been so impressed by her consistency in discipline. Like, there were times I'd be like secretly to myself, like, oh, he just needs a hug. And she would like carry through, nothing bad, but like she would take it from point A to D and be consistent with it. And I would look at her in awe because I would think I either was too lazy or incapable of doing that. I probably could have had a tighter rein on you guys. You were kind of feral. Do you know what I mean? Like, you were pretty wild. And I didn't mind it. You were just kids. You fought all the time and things got crazy and stuff like that. But I probably could have been a better disciplinarian. Dad only disciplined when it became way too much for me to handle. And then I think you guys ran. Not that he ever did anything, but his voice spoke to you where mine didn't really. You guys would just kind of at me. Luke used to just turn around and laugh as I was chasing him with a wooden spoon. I don't think you were very afraid of me. Is that correct? I wasn't a good disciplinarian. I wanted to have fun.
I was afraid of you, but I don't like being in trouble.
No, you never did like being in trouble, but you didn't get in trouble very much. Luke and Blake did. Not bad, but just trouble.
And it's interesting you say that because Easton, my middle son, he's a lot like I am and used to be. Yes. Where if you get him in trouble, you got to be very careful how you dish out the bad news because the consequences, like he just takes, he's a sensitive guy and he doesn't like being in trouble. If he gets a whiff that he's in trouble, it ruins his entire day. He can't. Yeah. Whereas my daughter Isabel, was more like Luke, my older brother, she'll be like, whatever, dude. Yeah, like. No, she'll be like, no, I disagree. That's not what I did. And she'll like fight back. And you'll be like, wait a second. Who's the parent here? What the fuck are you talking about? Like, so, and that's what, like, she reminds me so much of Luke growing up. Yes. Like, I feel like they're, just strong-willed and
they just came out of the chute that way. I mean, Luke was Luke from day one. He was always stronger than me. And so that was a challenge. But, I mean, he didn't do bad things. He was just, I don't know, he was just always smarter than me and stronger than me, I guess.
Well, but and that's the problem with Isabel, is I'll be like really busy and they'll get in a fight. And usually Isabel is the instigator, unfortunately. And I'll be like, Isabel, please stop doing X. I'll catch one snippet of it and I'll use that as the example. Stop doing this. And she'll be like, well, that's not specifically what I said. That's right. And so it's so frustrating. I'll be like, Isabel, I don't care what you specifically said. I care that you stop this behavior, But she'll be like, well, it's still not specifically what I said.
No, she's so smart. She's like.
And she's right. It's not specifically what she said.
That's right.
That's what's so annoying about it. I was trying to remember. There was one time she said something to me that was so intelligent and she was right. And it absolutely
well, okay, whatever.
And I can't remember what it was, but it was unbelievable. Okay. So Now that you've seen where we end up, so your regret is you'd been more disciplinary, right? And it would have helped maybe some.
I mean, consistent, not more of a disciplinarian, but maybe more consistent. Because I'd get angry with you guys, and I'd say, go to your room, and until you can be nice, don't come out. And 2 seconds later, you guys would come out, and I'd be okay, let's go do something. I just wasn't very consistent. Now, it may not have made a bit of difference. I don't know. I was just who I was. I couldn't do any different, I guess. But no, I don't regret a lot of things. I wasn't a very good mom to teenagers. That was hard for me.
What do you mean by that?
Well, you guys were stepping out into the world and doing things that I didn't want you to do, with the drinking and the, smoking and smoking pot and whatever. I didn't, and girls, or, all of that. It caused me a lot of anxiety. So I would say those were hard years. I did the best I could. That's all I can say. I hope I did all right. But that was hard.